soaring in the finals, and we just see more consistency, which is what I was hoping to see from this roster.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy right now the classic Kamikaze, which is now canonically known as just the full center as a one player, and then just dominate from there. And the thing is, Kamikaze can get it done, which is super interesting. He just exerts a lot of control. Soul K from the backlines on that anchor, super cool. Wouldn't call it a wombo combo. I wouldn't be comboing Ida with S2G. That's not fair. I'd have them separately. You know, S2G, you know, maybe up here, then Ida maybe down here, something like that.
I felt like that was the only time I could really say it, so that's why.
Sitting at the end giggling at you guys. Can I just hand it over to IQ? Can I just
yes,
like, can I pick an MVP right now? Because holy guacamole, the clutch insanity from IQ right now. Obviously, you know, we kind of want the rest of Four Thrives to join in on that action, but the clutch ability and also the decision making and the macro calls from IQ right now is insane. Also, the opening fights and frags that IQ is doing. We obviously saw it on the rooftop. I think I blinked. I think me and Max just kind of blinked, and I was like, wow, that was the fastest kill I've kind of seen. But like, it's insane the performance coming out of a single player right now.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw him being able to get that first knock on Vitality. I ended up jumping off my seat, Max, because that was such a good opening. And it was actually the decision making, as you were just mentioning, Lace. The decision making from this squad is something that we keep kind of questioning, but they were able to just send it right away to Vitality without even thinking about it. They were like, one knock, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good decision making overall. We're just trading mics all over the place. But no, it's lovely to see that IQ gets that opening knock with an insanely accurate burst spray. Right, that was just a beautiful execution. And the team is like, well, we have the man advantage. Might as well send it and actually get that engagement. So yeah, IQ has been spectacular, not just in terms of the eliminations able to get. We're just trading stuff right now still. But also in the terms of the opportunities he is able to create for the entirety of his team. And when an opportunity has been made, man, they just fully send it.
They do fully send it. Let's take a look. Actually, I want to see Four Thrive stats so far, because this team is one that has been picking it up so far today. They've been getting those eliminations. I want to see a little bit more placement points out of this squad, especially for this last match. IQ is not just Pubg too, Blank, because that's one thing that we always talk about Four Thrives. Pubg, who Sypha has been able to step it up to when we ended up thinking about PMGO. T24 is that player that just really hasn't been performing that well. I'm hoping is going to start picking it up.
I mean, T24 has always been a really good player, right, overall, which has been nice to see. But you're right, Huzaifah putting a lot of work here. IQ, you were talking about clutch ability with the macro play as well on side. I mean, he's making some good calls right now. I think for this game, you're getting deeper and deeper into these matches is a really, really important thing for Four Thrives. There was a lot of love from the crowd there as well, which was great to see. Also, going to just say, why have you got a heavier mic than to all of us? Your mic like is...
Here, let's switch it.
What, you want yours back? King Mike.
So I can talk to Tomash.
This one's like less. Ooh.
It smells better.
Yeah, this feels like lights, you know? Light on my feet, on the desk. You can call this a desk, it's more of a couch. But yeah, overall, I think I completely agree with you. Macro-wise, looking great. I do just want to kind of bring it back to Tiamba right now. They did drop in.
Max, don't leave me hanging. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Hey,
please go on.
Let's chat about Tiamba, right? We had a lot to talk about them today, didn't we, Lace? They've dropped in a new sub now in Shallow. Milu's out for the time being. I think that the team definitely slowed down. Slowed down in a big way. It is hurting them a lot. We're not seeing those snap decisions anymore.
Yeah, it's not even like that they're trying to do something a little bit different. It's now just their strategy is not working for it's insane to see. They're still making the same strategies, the rotates, but when going into a fight now, they seem to be losing it, which they're playing their same game, but it's not working out for them. So I'm seeing what I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
Me too. And one team that's been picking it up, especially here in the last couple of games too, has been OG. OG has been able to step it up. We saw them finish in the top 4 situation right there. And they've been seeing, we even saw them in Rondo being able to get eliminations too, switching it up a little bit more, using the Rondo, since they're able to revive people, trying to be more aggressive, Max.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see the aggression we witnessed from them back in their respective group, right? It kind of fizzled out. They've been more passive from time to time. But no, here actually a really good 2-2 split, maintaining that high ground position up north and sending 2 players down. I understand the reasoning behind it, but at the end, pushing that compound is incredibly rough onto Ida as we check out all of the winning teams of today. But I do want to highlight here before we do wrap up this desk, man, Ida finally gave up the drop onto Nigma Galaxy. Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
It's good, right? You know, getting a second place off the back of that is cool. I was almost expecting them to clutch up there versus S2G because that is very typical Ida, is just to get all the way to an end game and then just have a really silly win at the end of it.
Yeah. Ida, sorry, I'm thinking about Furia because I saw them being able to get that chicken dinner earlier in the day. But Ida, yes, I agree with both of you. I'm glad that they finally just stopped doing that hot drop and decided to change the mentality because they were in last place before they decided to make that change. One team that's currently not in last place and is wanting to challenge that first place is none other than Furia, and I believe Kalara's got a chance to talk to them.
Hey guys, of course I am down here on the stage with Ayala as I have him after this great performance here throughout day number 2 of the finals. My first question here for Erangel is, sorry, Miramar even I should say, in the second Miramar. You guys had great space control to be able to eventually get yourself to that win. So talk to me about that late game and what threats you might face.
Queria perguntar como é que foi o jogo de Miramar para vocês, né? Ali no final, como é que vocês estavam se sentindo ali no late game? Qual foi a estratégia de vocês?
E aí, tudo bem? Esse jogo aí a gente começou perdendo o chifre, só que a gente não desistiu e continuou querendo. A gente jogou bem esse jogo mesmo estando em trio. Então a gente ganhou os morros, foi jogando juntos e a gente conseguiu ganhar a play.
So it was very nice play. We managed to get it through with 3 players, so it was really important for us. We made the right decisions, and we could get it.
Awesome. So let's talk about the Rondo for a moment, because that was great as well. You guys eventually entered into the silos, the urban area and things like that. And I thought you were going to be in a lot of trouble, but you actually looked amazing in that execution. So what were your concerns on Rondo? Who were you kind of looking out for, and how did you execute that?
A partida de Rondo também foi muito boa, né? Vocês entraram ali no silo e ficaram por ali. Parecia que ia dar ruim algumas horas, mas conseguiram sair muito bem. Quais eram as suas preocupações ali nessa queda, nessa partida? O que vocês estavam sentindo?
Nessa partida de Rondo, a gente começou bem, fazendo marquills no começo, depois fomos pegando marquills, só que a gente errou em algumas coisas no finalzinho que a gente depois da play conversou, então tomara que nas próximas plays a gente consiga ajeitar tudo para conseguir ganhar esse campeonato.
So it was a pretty nice match. We managed to get some kills on the start and in the middle game, but by the end we did some mistakes, but after the game we talked, we solved those mistakes, and we are better for the next ones.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Ayala. That is it for us here down on the stage.
Thank you, Kalaris, and thank you, Ayala, as well, for that great answer. And yeah, for this team, I mean, they started off hot today. This last match, though, ended up being a big old donut. I think they'll be able to bounce back.
Ayala, you may have your driver's license back. I will bestow it upon you once more, because now the decisions to use the vehicle are working for you and not just going in there and seeing what sticks. But no, look, the elimination consistency from Furia is, you know, we always speak about it. They are a sort of an aggressive dominant team. But now, you heard it from them. They're taking it there. They are moving a little bit further in placement points, which is exciting to see, especially on the map where they they got their chicken dinner and the way that they were able to just wait. Sometimes they just get a little bit too happy, aggressive, and they're like, you know what, we're going to create our own play. However, the patience that they are showing now, especially Max, it's just working for them, and it's a great Furia look.
It really is. I mean, I kind of want to go a little bit deeper almost on Furia, in the sense that I was expecting Silence and Ayala to put up big numbers, which they still are on occasion, but I feel like Higot has really risen up the ranks in this tournament. He's gotten so many great plays. Sometimes where players will give him a lot of 1v1s, and you don't want to do that to Higot, because you will get those eliminations if you give them that slightest opportunity to fight back. But yeah, Higot is looking great. So literally the entirety of Furia has that potential to be in the top 10 players in this event.
But you got to remember, Igor, too, is a player that has won MVP in the past for Americas, too, when he ended up being in previous teams before joining Furia, right? So we know that he can definitely put up those points. We just want to see Silence even more. Silence, what's your pick for MVP? But let's take a look at the overall so we can see where some of these squads are currently sitting at, because I would love to see where Furia is currently at, with E-Arena still being in first place, the gap being there about 18 points from Ulf Esports.
Well, I mean, for Ayala and Chief as well, like back in Liquid days, I think for, honestly, those boys, the big thing about their team play was that they locked down endgames massively. They massively locked down endgames. We're not quite getting there yet. We are slowing things down, like you say, Lace, which is a very, very good thing to get those placement points on board. But I think that as soon as we start seeing Fury in those endgames, we're looking really good. Enigma Galaxy's still up there. Ulf looking fantastic. I mean, it's more consistent than anything. They haven't really been a big driver in these matches, but sitting at 67 points right now, I think they can push that a little bit further. But Aurora slowly slipping down these rankings now.
Yeah, Aurora is starting to be a bit of a red flag for me as well, Lace.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing to see. They're getting active and busy in sort of these mid games, but they're not sort of pushing it any further than that, and not sort of solidifying any eliminations. It's kind of like I feel like Aurora and especially Ulf, they're obviously doing well. They're not on that second page, but I kind of feel like they're just sliding by. Consistency's there. I would say Aurora has dropped more consistency than Ulf, for example, but I'm kind of just feeling like they're grazing by.
I mean, Aurora, actually, if you compare it, the placement points to the teams above them, they all got wins, right? 1 win, 2 wins. So actually, the placement points are not bad. It's just really the eliminations they're missing out on. Second page, though, teams
which is wild.
Yeah, starting to still linger down here. But keep in mind, Ida started the day with 2 points. Now they got 25. They're not in the bottom rank anymore.
Stop hyping them up. They've had one good game.
I got to praise them. They didn't hot drop, okay? So I don't want them to go back to it. Good job, Ida. Keep it up. Yes.
It's like a kindergarten right now.
Ida fighting.
Good job. You used blue instead of red there.
You get a gold star.
Done.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see more Ada. I think Emre's a great player, but we have to be honest. We do have to be honest here about it, where it's not looking great. I'd like to see them push that a little bit further now going forward. But yeah, I do think they're a good team. I think they're a good team. It's just I want to see more out of them. And until then, I'm not going to be praising them for not hot dropping 3 times in a row.
I will. I'm still happy. So
I know you're a lovely guy compared to me.
Hey. By the way, I want to say I'm a little bit scared for Ulf because they're in second place. They got the second place curse. They're Suk 2.0, right? PMGC last year. PMGO Season 1, they got second place, right? Just behind the likes of Four Thrives and just above Furia. Second place and Ulf is not a great storyline. They're not friends, but they're still up there.
What was that about the nice guy thing? No. Look, I obviously on that second page just want to touch on Godlike. Their close range battles, amazing. But unfortunately, they're sort of hanging around that engagement too long. And these are sort of in the mid to late games where obviously smaller circle, more teams, third parties are happening. So they're not sort of leaving this engagement fast enough and making that decision to put themselves in a nice spot. However, yeah, their fights, close range, mid range, in buildings has been so good to watch. And whether it be the whole team or just 2 of them, they do have that firepower and strength and they're holding on really well. So I do hope that, you know, after this engagement, they can move a little further in with their placement and just get those top 5s.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. It is a great point there. Close range combat is really, really good. I think so far in the finals, S-Power has made the best play to date.
Yes.
His Longhouse fight was just, he was a weapon in that moment, or a deadly one at that. I mean, the Molotov through the door, I think the impressive thing about that, it doesn't look amazing in the moment, but the amount of times teams will just bank that Molotov off the doorway and it will just burn yourself out. He ends up finishing Vitality with that Molotov, so it's like a lot of presence of mind in those moments, which is great. But coming back to your point, I think there needs to be, yeah, exactly, presence of mind going forward after that of where you want to take the next thing. I'm willing to give this team the benefit of the doubt right now. I still think they're trying to figure out the pressure on a main stage like this, and it's totally okay. And I think they should be proud of what they've done. I think it's nice to see 2 Indian orgs with like very different play styles as well, you know, learning the battlefield and actually doing fairly good in it. I think OG as well is starting to level up. Aru's getting those eliminations, but so is a Tanky. And I think a Tanky was a great player.
That was the biggest question mark for OG, right? Wondering when the other players were going to start showing up, not just Aru. And I'm with you with during the Godlike and that Molotov. In that moment, we were all hyped. We were like, yes, that was an amazing Molotov because it stopped the other team from being able to just fully flush out the players that were not from him. But before we send it over to the next match, let's send it over to Kalaris and Neptera.
That's right, down on the stage here, of course, with Neptera, Goddess of the Sea, here as we have had 4 games down, 4 games to go. We're going to talk about some of the teams as well, Nep, as we had Furia, looking fantastic so far. Let's just ignore game 1 for a second. But other than that, looked really, really good throughout the day.
It has. I'm really, really excited to see what Furia is actually going to be doing moving forward into the next couple of games, because they are looking just so much better. Their synergy is on point. You can tell the communication is much better. You know, Ayala and Silence, again, in that Miramar, got to shout out them. They were looking very, very good. You know, just being able to play together and work around each other in a way that we were not seeing yesterday. So yeah, I am really excited with them. They're being very decisive as well, using zone, using other teams. So I do like that a lot for them.
Yeah, listening to Ayala just before in that interview, right, very clearly that they're able to shrug off any inconsistencies, shrug off any kind of challenges that do come their way, have a little conversation about it, and then be able to get right back on the horse again to be able to put themselves in a great spot. So I think I've particularly been impressed by the fact that Furia, when they basically fourth-partied that fight on the Miramar, just to clear out that west side was so pivotal to be getting that win.
Oh, it was, and it was such great knowledge of what the teams had to do, right? Not just worrying about their game, but also worrying about what the other teams, what their options were in that zone, right? You know, they were making sure that S2G couldn't come around to the south side. They were making sure Hora didn't push them either, that they were forced into each other. So really just narrowing everybody else's team, everybody else's options. And that is what I love in a team, is that team control, not worrying so much about themselves, but how do we make everybody else work for us?
Let's talk about one of the big names from the group stage, of course, 4 Thrives, that I know a lot of people are looking at and having big expectations of, and rightly so considering what we saw from them in the group stage.
Yeah, I really am hopeful for them because, yeah, again, similar to Furia, right? 4 Thrives had a rocky start to the finals, but what we're seeing from them, particularly in that last Erangel, is they're starting to do their splits over onto that west side. They're starting to split up, they're starting to spread out, they're starting to take up more space, have a little bit more presence, and to me, that tells me that they're feeling very confident now. They're starting to get that confidence back. For me, I want to see just a little bit more of snappy action coming in. They need to make those rotations a little bit quicker. They need to make those plays a little bit quicker. Those decision making, the timing has to be snappier for me, but otherwise it's just looking really much better.
There's been some good moments, but there is also the fact that this lobby has now leveled up even further. They were able to thrive in the group of death, no doubt about it, but it really has been quite the test here so far for them, especially when they find themselves in some of those split positions where, unfortunately, I kind of, again, like the Rondo situation, I think it's just a little too early to be there, and then eventually they get caved in on. Finally, let's talk about Flash.
Yes.
A team that had like big expectations as well coming in to this tournament as a whole. Not quite got their footing underneath them, though. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think, I'm not sure what's happened, right? Because we did see them have, they never had a huge presence, I feel like, even in the group stage, right? They were never this massive frag team, but they always had this quiet dominance. They were always able to be in those end stages. They were always able to take home a few eliminations, even if it wasn't a podium win. And today and yesterday, there's not even that. There's nothing. They're playing very compact. They're playing very much by themselves. They're not really looking to other players. If players look at them, they're like, no, please don't do that. You know, it's just like, it's odd, and we're just nothing in them.
Is it because Max picked them to win?
Possibly. It is possible.